Eve in Yardley. We did some work for her in the past, early spring mulch install. Today's work would be bush trimming and cleanup, general overall cleanup. It was the wife I was communicating with, but then the husbands who I walk with, they didn't seem to know exactly what each other was looking for specifically. So kind of just go off of feedback from him and then what I'm kind of seeing here. So she said in the front yard, her words were just cleanup, etc., etc. So I'll put it for like trimming, a couple different various items. I'll line item it out. So just check the notes for which ones they pick and choose. I'm going to price out a couple different ways, like trimming these low branches is one thing, spraying the driveway with like a Roundup as a second item, weeding out all the beds as a third item, and then shrub pruning of all the shrubs as a fourth item. So just check the notes which ones they accept. So starting over here, do a light bed cleanup. It's not a crazy amount of work, a little more attention to detail type of a job, I guess. Rake out the beds a little bit of, there's some leaves and debris, and then you can do a light pruning here. Light pruning just to get it off the walkway a little bit here. Light pruning of this one just to get it kind of back into the mulch bed a little bit. And this one, I probably wouldn't even touch that one. It's kind of bare as is. So this spot, he said, you can price on trimming this back to kind of get it off of his like man cave thing here, shed. So you can trim back some of the growth to get it out of the way. I would leave this alone because it's kind of flowery. You know what? He did kind of want it. So don't cut all this, but just cut right here with like a hedge clipper just to, again, clear the front of his driveway. These we'll leave all alone because he thinks that's actually probably the neighbor's. So this tree, the branches are really low. They're about 6 foot. He said his wife's car is probably like hitting it as he's pulling in. So just looking to price out to kind of clear the low hanging growth from the driveway. Don't gotta go nuts with it, but basically I would just get in here and kind of cut out stuff that's hanging low. You don't gotta cut all the way back the full length of the tree, but kind of trim back all the lower branches so that you're closer to that 10-foot mark for vehicles that can pull in, that they're not brushing against the vehicle. And he said maybe even a little bit there, kind of trim that back lightly. We'll go swing, hit this one while I'm over here. Wouldn't weed out that bed because I think that's honestly their property. Shrub pruning to this one here by the post. The rest I would leave alone, but you can kind of weed it out. Again, line item for spraying out the driveway for the growth coming through. He said he probably needs to like power wash it to blast them out, but we're not going to do that, so we'll just spray it. Moving to here, just weed out, clean up the beds. Can lightly prune this, kind of use your judgment with pruning everything. I would leave all this alone. Light prune to that, light prune to this, light prune back there, light prune here. I would prune this to kind of give some separation a little bit off the house. Light prune here, definitely cut it back so it's off the walkway. Light pruning to this. I would just prune this to give it separation from the other plants. Light pruning here, light pruning here. Very light prune there. Very light prune on those two. I'd actually leave alone. They look a little like struggling maybe a little bit. Leave that one alone. You could probably do a light prune. That one's a little bit hairy. Leave this alone. Leave this alone. I'd probably leave that one alone. And then I would leave all this alone. Pull this weed. Leave the maple alone. And moving to here, weed out the beds. Weeding out all these beds as well. I didn't really clarify that, but weeding out all the beds is included in the price. And then trim up all these. Weed out these beds. Just leave that bed alone. I think that's probably the neighbor. I think we might have mulched like half of it. You could even weed like the half closer to the house. Light weed in here. Light weed into this, picking up of the sticks and stuff, and then very light prune of these two evergreens. And that's it.